Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous, with me, Regadon. So last time I read the effect of the Covenant of the Inheritor, but not the actual description. So any relic you restore via the storyteller will have flavor text like this. As soon as you touch the relic, you experience a vision. The events feel as if you lived through them yourself. I kneel before your altar and ask for the 1000th time, where are you? What evil has struck you silent and forced you to turn your back on those of us sworn to you? Are you still alive? Answer us, Lassus Lanti, I beseech you. Answer me, Eredin. I need you now more than ever. My cheeks are inflamed with resentment. He doesn't answer our prayers. All of us, his devoted paladins, for the great absence of our patron's disappearance. His grace over us has faded. We have been orphaned. Why then do I not grieve, but instead feel like a rejected daughter? I kneel in front of the altar in the tiny house's chapel and pray. No one dares to disturb me, but they don't know that it is not devout faith that keeps me here, but fear. I'm afraid to go outside. A duty I'm not prepared to face awaits me there. A war is waiting. I've never been in a real war before, unlike my father. His armor, which has seen many battles, lies near the altar on a stone slab bearing his name. The gold buckle on his belt gleams with a symbol of Eredin stamped on it. I remember it shining much brighter in the past, this relic of our lost god. Everyone expects me to go into battle, clad in my father's armor as a true daughter of my lineage. I must not dishonor my family. I must smite my enemies with my family's motto as my battle cry. But I'm scared. What happens if I fail? If I hesitate or show fear? If I let everyone down? I'll be a disgrace. The stupid girl who ruined everything. Eredin, how I miss your grace. Footsteps echo behind me. Who dares to violate my privacy? Why now, when my wretched, treacherous heart could falter at any moment? A warrior stands behind me, not young or old, just an ordinary knight in a simple breastplate. She looks me straight in the eye, without impertinence, but also without adulation. You will not disgrace your father. At first I thought I misheard her. The warrior's words sounded like an answer to my unspoken thoughts. How odd. Or, you will not falter. I see you standing firm, so leave your fear behind. Who is she? How does she read the worries written on my heart? And how dare she do so without permission? I prepare an angry rebuke, but the words die on my lips, and only a pitiful complaint comes out instead. Eredin left us. Stupid me. Why are you squeaking like a mouse? What an embarrassment you are. You must... The warrior drops down to one knee before me, so that her eyes are level. There is strength in her calm, determined face. Yes, he left us, but that doesn't mean we are alone. I'll support you in this battle. No matter how arduous, no matter how dark the skies, no matter how much blood flows from my wounds, I shall stand with you. We shall fight for our loved ones and our friends, for the right to live and die free. We shall do everything we possibly can, and after that, we shall begin to do the impossible. And if the hour should come when our arms can no longer raise our swords, our bodies will become a shield to cover those who still have strength to fight. I, Iomedae, inheritor of Eredin, swear this to you. This is my vow. Her hand rests on my father's armor, and light emanates from it. It envelops the armor and soaks into it, blinding me. My eyes fill with tears. I never thought I'd cry of happiness again. When I wipe my eyes clear, I find myself alone. The gold buckle on my father's military belt shines like the sun again. The symbol inscribed on it is different now, and now shows a knight's sword exuding light. That is my symbol, from now until forever. Can we truly prevail? Yes. We, the Knights of Mendev, march forward in a splendid, gleaming formation to the stronghold of the damned city. City of Eyes, today you will fall. The horde of demons and their lackeys scurry away from us, and I smile as I lower the visor of the helmet my father once wore. I haven't disgraced you. None of us have. A shadowy female figure approaches us. Her cloak obscures her face, but we all know who she is. The betrayer of humanity. Her hands dance, weaving spells. We raise our shields, preparing for a crushing blow. But we're still not ready. Giant invisible scythes begin to shred our ranks. They easily cut through flesh and steel, stir up dust, and halt our offensive, which ceases to exist. In an instant, the betrayer destroys our unit, and I see dust swirl up in front of me, then a blow of monstrous force knocks me off my horse. Darkness envelops me, or is it death? No, I feel someone's hands. Someone helps me up, removing my crumpled helmet. How am I still alive? I lower my eyes and see a horrible gash across my breastplate. The gold buckle with Iomede's symbol shattered, but warded off the fatal blow of the damn witch. I look around in horror. There's no army anymore. Our ranks are broken. All courage is left our soldiers. Screams ring out everywhere, but alas, many more mouths are silent. The betrayer watches us, making no attempt to finish us off. I can't see her face. I can swear there's nothing but boredom and indifference written all over it. Grabbing the shoulder of a sergeant running by, I shout in his face, "Rally the troops. Those who can fight, get to the front row to cover the others. We don't retreat until we've carried away the wounded." His eyes are full of wild, mad fear. He forces out an objection. "The war is lost. We are doomed. Run." I hold him firm, looking into his eyes. He's scared. I understand. Stand firm, warrior. The battle is lost, but our war has just begun. No matter how arduous, no matter how dark the skies, no matter how much blood flows from my wounds, I shall stand with you. We shall fight for our loved ones and our friends, for the right to live and die free. We shall do everything we possibly can, and after that, we shall begin to do the impossible. If the hour should come when our arms can no longer raise our swords, our bodies will become a shield to cover those who still have strength to fight. I, Galfrey, Queen of Mendev, swear this to you. This is my vow. So one of the great mysteries in this setting is what happened to Aridin. Don't know if he just disappeared or he died. But one of the DLCs kind of touches on it. And there's some striking similarities between the god, at least his... how he's typically seen, and one of the NPCs in that DLC. The Queen greets you with a stare. She's dropped the pompous air with which she just announced the Fifth Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She has made her move, now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds.
She gets quickly to the point.
I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Daeran, our lost outpost within the Worldwound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomede herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Daeran awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Bainik.
The Queen nods to the human man and the young halfling woman standing next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomede also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons! I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it!
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth? You can go too.
When we met at the Defender's Heart, I never imagined you'd make me the commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme, and beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it.
The Queen allows herself a smile.
However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
I have some questions about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course. I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
Staunton Vane. I saw him at the Great Garrison. He defected to the demon's side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting.
Galfrey frowns.
I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
You shouldn't have stayed the hand of justice. If he died, he would be betraying you again now.
Justice was nowhere to be found that day. The army had become a mob, and the tribunal was a prelude to what that mob craved: bloody carnage. I am the Queen of Mendev, and the leader of the Crusades. Justice served on my behalf cannot look like that.
Galfrey says the last phrase with purpose, her eyes ablaze. Yeah, that's not my favorite option, but I don't think I've ever actually taken that lawful option before. What forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades, and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demons' plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly, before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
What about long-term goals? You know how to get rid of the Worldwound forever.
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the abyss across the territory we call the Worldwound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed.
The Queen nods in approval, then frowns.
The Worldwound is more than just a chain of portals to the abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the Worldwound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the Worldwound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the Worldwound, with the aim of reaching Threshold, the very threshold of the abyss.
I have no more questions.
Wonderful.
Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first Wardstone in Kenobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works.
A furrow forms on the Queen's brow.
Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the Wardstone in Kenobris, and were able to save this gift of Iomede. It was a deed worthy of a knight commander of the Fifth Crusade.
The Queen subtly inclines her head in solemn acknowledgement of your service. You should know I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Kenobris. In a vision, I saw the death of an angel called Lariel. Somehow he is able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the Worldwound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on their special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
A smile, kind and sad, crosses the Queen's face. I show the covenant of the Inheritor. Do you remember this?
This. I thought this relic was destroyed many years ago. How strange it is to see it whole again. At one time, it gave me hope. I am pleased that this object will serve the Crusade once more.
The Queen's eyebrows shoot up in surprise. Queen Galfrey's hand twitches, as if trying to reach for the relic of its own accord, but the Queen stills its movement. I had a vision of Iomede giving her covenant to you.
I was young, and did not fully understand the magnitude of the duty that had been entrusted to me. Iomede gave me hope and strength to see me through the trials ahead, and in so doing, she won my everlasting loyalty.
The Queen's lips flatten into a hard line. Do you still remember the oath you swore in battle?
Always. No matter how arduous, no matter how dark the skies, no matter how much blood flows from my wounds, I shall stand with you. We shall fight for our loved ones and our friends, for the right to live and die free. We shall do everything we possibly can, and after that, we shall begin to do the impossible. And if the hour should come when our arms can no longer raise our swords, our bodies will become a shield to cover those who still have strength to fight. I, Galfrey, Queen of Mendev, swear this to you. This is my vow.
The Queen's gaze grows distant. You withstood a blow from Arilu Vorlesh in that battle.
I would proudly declare that to be true, and say that even Arilu Vorlesh could not kill me on her first attempt. But to do so would be boasting. I was protected by my goddess. However, I was glad to see that, no matter how great the betrayer of humanity's power, it is nothing as compared to Iomede's might.
Hand over the Covenant of the Inheritor. Please take this gift. The Covenant of the Inheritor should belong to you.
Let the Covenant's restoration into my hands be a good omen for this war. I thank you. I shall ask the priests to offer prayers for you, that Iomede may send you strength and fortitude in the coming battles.
Inclining her head, the Queen reverently takes the relic from your hands. So, I don't think you have to give that to her for the romance, but there's a counter going on in the background. I think this goes towards that counter, so it does help with her romance. If you don't give it to her right now, you do have the option to give it to her later, whenever you talk to her. So, if you want to use that effect for a while, until your paladin gets the, is it Aura of Good? Well, that's a little late. I don't know if you can give it to her by that point. Either way, you don't have to give it to her. And what are you going to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
Galfrey arches her brow. So if you do want to romance Galfrey, she needs to come with you. And the only two ways to do that is option 1 and option 2. And you'll always have this available anyway, so you always have the option to ask her to come with you. If she comes with you, though, you do lock out a later mythic path. But it's not until Act 5, so. And my queen, I'd ask you to remain with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the Crusade, and the blessing of Iomede that you carry may be decisive in this battle.
What is this I hear? A polite attempt to appeal to the conscience of an old sovereign?
The queen flashes something of a slightly astonished smile.
I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
Galfrey chuckles. The task is clear.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable.
The queen gives you an impish wink.
Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
The Queen makes a stately gesture in your direction.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
Daeran's cool expression wavers, but seems not to be fully cognizant of what is happening. That, or he's holding himself tightly in check. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I knew you would approve, Commander.
The Queen bestows a smile on you, then brings her gaze to rest on Daeran once more.
I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the Commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the Crusade and your faithful service to the Commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Count offers a bow, either as a sign of respect or in order to hide his flushed face. Only the barest quaver can be heard in his voice.
Then let's get going. May Iyomade help us.
Alright, well, Daeran's along for the ride. Much to his chagrin. Nevia. Nevia sweeps an inquisitive glance over you. So tell me straight, how'd that brawl at the Great Garrison end? I heard the rumors, of course. That's kind of my job, you know, to listen. You've no idea what cobblers and crusaders say about you. Some say that Amade came to you and appointed you her herald. Others say that you died, and an honest God's angel is now leading the army disguised as you. So others say it was just an explosion at an alchemist lab. And I'm the one spreading rumors about your powers. I wish. But you know, you really have changed since the Great Garrison. It's hard to describe. You've become kinda... Nevia waves her hand, trying to find the word. Kinda smarter. Yeah, stronger. More dangerous. I have a gut instinct about these things. If I didn't, I'd already be dead. You're a dangerous commander. And by Desna, hope you'll be dangerous to our enemies, and not to us. Or to yourself. Alright, now we can talk to some of our companions about our newfound mythic powers. There's also a mysterious elf here. Darn it, you again, soldier. The bearded quartermaster gives you a friendly nod. What can I do for you? I saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she, and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and by sight. Worcester frowns gloomily, his cordiality gone in an instant. She's looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. The quartermaster eyes you with concern. She was some sort of spy then. That was Kaylessa.
I'm gone.
We'll see her a couple more times throughout the playthrough.
There's something here. We do it my way.
Right. May Kenobris be doomed. Anonymous pamphlet. I spit on the streets of Kenobris. I spit on its granite walls and its stained glass windows. If tomorrow the ground trembles, splits apart, and devours this cursed city, I will not shed one tear. No one here, not a single soul, deserves any compassion. Everyone who lives in this city is a criminal. If there were any justice in this world, every one of them would be hanging from the gallows. Call it Holroon and Queen Galfrey chief among them. Ask anyone on the streets what they know of mongrels. The answer will be dumb silence, and the lowered eyes of a scoundrel who knows their crimes, but doesn't want to think about it. Mongrels, a disgusting nickname, which the residents of the city have given to the brave Crusader heroes who defeated the forces of evil, paid for it with their health. Covered with scabs and tumors, bloated and gnarled, they were no longer beautiful enough to be tolerated by the very people they'd saved. As a reward for their heroism, the city dwellers exiled them to the sewers and damp caves beneath the city. The author of these words went down there and spoke with them, and I'll have you know that the ugliest of them is more noble than all the paladins of Mendev, not to mention that head-chopping prelate and his murderous queen. And if any pretend that today's city dwellers aren't responsible for the crime of their grandfathers, then I'll spit in their face, for the grandchildren of the exiled are still down there, crawling in the mud and eating garbage. And everyone knows about this and does nothing, and everyone who should know but prefers blissful ignorance. I say they're all guilty, and they repeat the same crime every day. And as long as this doesn't change, any citizen who desires to fight a demon should take a knife and stab themselves in the stomach. For your city has already rotted, you are no better than the demons. And if anyone would repent and right this terrible wrong, they should turn their weapons on the prudish paladins who preach good, but defend an order that flies in the face of justice. Down with the paladins, down with Prelate Holroon, down with Queen Galfrey. But a propaganda in our camp. It's not ideal. Alright, I'm going to call it here. Next time, we'll explore the camp. We'll talk to our companions about our newfound mythic powers. We'll talk to Social, Daeran, and Leoder, and Nura. Then we can set out. But for now, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.